So, Tigers, I was driving back from up north yesterday and was listening to the MLB Draft. No huge surprise at who went 1 and 2, Paul Skeens and Dylan Cruz. Paul Skeens, the dominant pitcher who, as they say, sits at 100.
I mean, that guy is incredible.
He's incredible.
He's
touched
absolutely
102.
incredible.
He actually sits 99, they say, but his fastball is electric. And Dylan Cruz, the Golden Spikes winner, the best player in college baseball. He had 18 home runs and 20 home runs. And, I mean, then this year won the Golden Spikes. I mean, he's a great hitter.
Gets on base a ton.
Yep.
A lot to like about it.
So the Tigers were on the board at 3, and the consensus had been going in and was going to be Wyatt Langford would be in the top 3.
The outfielder from Florida.
Yes.
Big power hitter.
Yep. But they went high school with Max Clark.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because that's Scott Harris going with the long play. Like when you go high school, you're not expecting someone to matriculate to the bigs quickly. It's not impossible, but you're not expecting it. And, in the morning show, I heard them say this multiple times. As far as a prospect, he was considered a better prospect as a high school player than Riley Green was. And when, you go back and you read about all of the analysis of what this player is and what this pick is, Baseball America or MLB.com, The Athletic, all these websites with the super geeky baseball people, they all say the same thing. In another draft, this guy could have gone 1-1.
Yeah.
But because this draft had 2 closer to major league ready, legit prospects, unusually high prospects in Skeen and Cruz, he wasn't going to go 1-1, but he was actually under consideration for 1-1 to the Pirates. So they get an 18-year-old high school center fielder. Gator, what do you make of this?
I was watching with bated breath the draft. I was all in on the draft. And when they were on the clock, I just had a feeling that they were not going to go with a college player in Langford. I thought they were going to go high school kid, and I didn't know which one it was going to be. Walter Jenkins is the other high school outfielder, kid from North Carolina, that was a consensus, top 5. And the top 5 players in the draft were based on the top 5 players for everybody in the draft. And the draft really started after that. So Max Clark being selected by the Tigers, I think he fits exactly what Scott Harris is looking for. He's a guy that has incredible plate discipline. It's really hard to project much of anything because of high school versus college. I mean, college, you're facing college competition. You've got a track record of a few years. High school, he's 18. He's played high school competition. Sure, you'll have some tournaments that you get to go and some showcases that are different, and you can, show what you can do. But it's not the same opportunity you would as a college player. So it's more of a crapshoot. But his scouting grades are through the roof. I mean, just looking at it from MLB.com, and, the way that this kid can run is near elite. His arm is near elite. And everything else projects very well for his hit and his fielding. And overall, he's a very highly graded player when it comes to scouting tools. And then you hear the 5-tool player stuff. And Scott Harris said, I think it's thrown around too much, but he truly is, And I'm watching all this stuff last night, and everybody said the same thing. Max Clark is the most toolsiest player out there. Mm-hmm. And the sky is the limit for his potential. So what it tells me is that they think clearly that his potential is greater than Wyatt Langford's. Not that Langford's a bad player, but that this guy has something that Langford doesn't have. And that's, I think maybe it just comes down to pure speed. And when you're looking at baseball today is different than baseball was a year ago. Speed matters now. It matters a heck of a lot more than it did a year ago. Stolen bases are a problem for the Tigers in the organization. They're not stealing bases, and it's easier to steal bases now. So projecting this kid 3 years from now being on the roster, and let's say that he's able to hit, he gets on base, he's going to steal second. And getting in scoring position is massive. So I think this is a tool that people are going to look more at down the road for the overall speed. The thought that when he does make it to the major leagues with the Tigers, that he'd be a center fielder and Riley Green moves over to a corner outfield spot. Now they have like 2 elite fielders out there. It's exciting. But does it come with the potential to hit 40 or 50 home runs? No, probably not. But I really liked what I saw with the highlights, and even more so, it's just listening to him talk and who he models his game after and why he models his game after Bryce Harper. I'm not a Bryce Harper guy, but the intensity Bryce Harper brings, Max Clark kind of emulates that, and he wants his teammates around him to be better, and he wants to inspire his teammates, and he said all the right things, and by all accounts, he's a great talent.
So, the high school numbers are Mickey Mouse, and I tend to dismiss high school because you have no idea the quality of pitching. It probably honestly sucks. So who really, I'm relatively speaking.
Right.
So a lot of great players and to good players put up Mickey Mouse high school numbers. But, in the perfect game tournaments when he was playing for the Indiana Bulls, which is these are the ones where all these best players go to. I mean, this kid stood out and had the number 2 high school playing ranking behind the kid from North Carolina whose name escapes me, but he went right after him.
Walter Jenkins.
Thank you. And yet some people said Max Clark was the best high school. I think he won the Gatorade Player of the Year. So in perfect game had Walter Jenkins ahead of him, but that's when he's going against the best of the best playing travel ball. And so that means more to me than any of his high school statistics.